What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Summer Career Mode. This is episode number 56, and we start today's stuff on the back of our win over Fiorentina to take us through to the Coppa Italia final. We'll face Luciano Spalletti's Napoli in our first cup final, with Inter going for a domestic double of course, but after a stuttering run of form in the league, just 2 wins in our last 5 in all competitions, we've dropped to 5th, dropped out of the top 4 in the Serie A, and we're 7 points behind Roma as well. With 12 games to go, there's no doubt about it. We're going to win the title now. We've got to go into a great form, and it needs to happen right now. So first game of today's episode, Spezia away from home, taking on Thiago Motta's side. I love playing at this stadium, man. Town Park, I absolutely love it. It's in the top left there where the away fans are housed. It's so cool. We were tied at 0-0 at the break though, and once again a sign of low confidence right now. Not playing well, not getting many chances, not scoring many goals, but I needed to win this game. So in the second half, what I decided to do at the break was take off Kefren Turam and bring on Sensei, and 5 minutes after the restart, Chiesa was denied. We were still tied at 0-0. We got one chance to get us in front for the first time in the game, and it turned out to be the sub that did it. Yep, Sensei off the bench, scored against Sassuolo earlier this season off the bench, and he does it here against Spezia as well. Sensei with the goal gives us the opener, and we take the lead away against Spezia. Thank goodness for that, because, you know, recently, like I said, man, recently, I have just been so poor. Not just finishing my chances, but creating as well. You know, I include the stats come the end of every one of my games, because I think it's fair, right? I don't want to paint a picture that isn't, you know, truth, if you will. Like I say, I'm all about transparency in my saves as well. And one thing I love about this year's FIFA, as we know, is that the XG, you know, XG is now a stat we can see in the stats, which is so important, because, you know, I've talked about it before. You know, when XG first started becoming mainstream a few years ago, I'm a bit of a traditionalist, I'm a bit of an old head. I was like, it's a lot of rubbish. But obviously, no, it's a modern stat, but it is definitely an accurate one. So I don't want to paint a picture that isn't realistic, if you will, and what happened in the highlights package, because I always say I've present the highlights package very fairly, but I also want to show you the stats as well. I haven't created that many chances recently, but even in the games when I am doing so, like that one there, I had 9 shots, high amount of possession, high XG as well. I still only scored 1 goal. I still only hit the back of the net 1 time. And at the moment, that's how we've been getting our wins. The 3 wins we've had in our last 4 games, all 1-0. All by the same scoreline, 1-0. At the moment, I'm just not converting chances, and I'm not creating that many either. So it's a little bit worrying right now, because this is still an unbeaten run. We still haven't lost since that Milan derby back in December, but we have slipped up a few times in recent weeks, and I'm certainly not on my best right now with Inter. So for the following game, PSV Eindhoven, after the 1-1 draw in the Netherlands, I was nervous heading back to the San Siro for this one. I did not play well in the Netherlands. Memphis had to bail me out in the final 5 minutes, and taking on the Dutch lads here at the San Siro, I thought surely I'll be better at home. Not by much. With 80 minutes to go, still deadlocked at 0-0. Both goalkeepers have made great saves. We had a chance to get in front in the tie for the first time, and wouldn't you just know who got the goal? Bailed me out away against his former team with 5 minutes to go, and then scores the goal to put me in front for the first time in the tie. Memphis with the opener, makes it 1-0, and with 3 minutes to go, quick little double attack here between Thomas Muller and Memphis, and our Dutch forward bags the goal that would wrap it up. Brace for Memphis. He scored all 3 goals in this tie against his former team, and confirms it with the final 4 minutes on the clock. Inter Milan 2, PSV Eindhoven 0, and we are going through to the quarterfinals. But man, oh man, that was a lot tougher of a tie than I was expecting. And it's so funny, it just seems to happen all the time. Like when I get drawn against the side in Europe, where I'm like, we should brush them aside pretty comfortably with no disrespect, I always seem to struggle. And when I take on one of the big teams, not all the time, but every now and then, I think, this will be a really tough tie. We're definitely underdogs. I might win the tie like 2 or 3-0, but speaking of which, there's our reward. We make it through PSV, and who do we face in the last day of the Champions League? I mean, who did you think it was going to be? Yep, they knocked out Real Madrid, and it will be our old team, Manchester City. Top of the Premier League right now, going for back-to-back league titles. We rebuilt their side last season. They let me go at the end of the year, and we got them in the quarterfinals. I mean, we only just scraped past PSV, so what chance have I got against the old team, Man City? I mean, no doubt about it, definite underdogs. Our form recently has been very erratic, very inconsistent. Yes, we're still undefeated since that last Milan derby back in late December, but I've certainly not been at my best. We've been scraping through wins by 1-0. Man City away, and you see the games that are next to the Man City tie as well. Roma and Juventus, the top two in the Serie A, unbelievable. And this is a huge period for Inter as well. I've been playing poorly recently, and our next games: Milan, Lazio, Roma, Man City, Juve, Man City again. Yep, we have got massive, massive games coming with Inter. So I thought, okay, Milan derby. This was the last game we lost back in December. We got beat 3-1, but since then, no defeats. Okay, our form hasn't been the best, but if we get a big win here and avenge our demons, we could possibly go on a run, which is what we'll need to be in great form for this big patch of form, so a patch of upcoming fixtures. So taking on Milan, a little bit nervous. They were the last team to beat us, of course, in December. First off, a little bit cagey, as you expect, but good saves by both goalkeepers, still tied at 0-0, but 62 minutes in. Give this guy the ball 20 yards from goal and he'll bang one in top corner. Mikkel Damsgaard only scores screamers. Another belter from our number 7. I love this guy. I cannot believe Dortmund gave him to me for free in exchange for Pau Torres. 4 goals in 10 games. His worth is so much more than Pau Torres to me. Opens the scoring, makes it 1-0. We lead by 1, courtesy of Damsgaard, and he almost bagged the brace with a trademark long shot with 5 minutes to go. Smacks the woodwork, Milan were clear, but we held on for the win. Another clean sheet. I think that's our 4th clean sheet in 6 games now, I think. Another clean sheet. The defense has tightened up so much since we made those big changes. We hold on for the win. 1-0 the final score. And to be fair, whilst our form recently has been a little bit inconsistent, one thing I'm really pleased about is how much better our back line has been. We shipped a lot of goals when we first took over here at Inter Milan. We had Ginter, we had Pau Torres, we had Felipe. They've all gone. And we brought in the youngsters, Santoro, Gasperoni, obviously Bastoni, a world-class centre-half coming in. Santos, the young Brazilian. You know, 3 new gents there. 3 new gents now, and 2 of which are regularly in our back line, partnering Alessandro Bastoni. We've got a young and inexperienced back line, and yet we're defending good. Like, we're defending really well. And that's a real rarity for me when you think about how bad I've been defending in this year's FIFA. I've definitely picked it up and you love to see it. So, final game of today's episode. Massive one here in the battle for the top 4. We just overcome Milan, but now we take on Lazio. Lose this game and we drop out of the top 4 once again. So we just beat Milan. My first Derby della Madonnina win as Inter manager, but now away at the Stadio Olimpico against Lazio in Rome. Huge game for both teams, taking on Sarri's side. They were the first team we faced since when we took over in Inter Milan and beat them by 1-0 at the San Siro. But heading into this game, much more riding on it now in the business end of the season. We were tied at 0-0. Both teams had chances, but right before the break, it was Lazio that would strike first. Yeah, lovely ball into the middle. Basic takes aim, first time volley, top bins, and Lazio lead. First goal conceded in a few games. And I was like, it's alright, it's okay, don't worry about it. We can get right back in this one in the second half. I'm confident of it. 11 minutes after the restart, and we have a chance to find our leveller. Bastoni finds Damsgaard, man of the moment right now alongside Memphis, and the 2 link up to roll the ball in to Moise Kean, who heads us back on level terms. These 3 have been so important to me, man. Honestly, Damsgaard, the creator and the long shot specialist. Memphis, the king of the clutch goals, and Moise, my top scorer. They combine all 3 of them to make it 1-1. And with 14 minutes to go, still tied, I would take the point. Juan Foyth smacks one in top corner. It's always so frustrating when a centre-half or a full-back smacks one in who's not known for those sort of goals and makes it 2-1. Lazio back in front. My defence breached. First time in a long time we conceded 2 goals in a single game, and with 3 minutes to go, pushing black shirts forward. Lazio come on the break, and Vitinha plays a 1-2 with Felipe Anderson, and the Portuguese attacking midfielder wraps it up. 3-1 Lazio in the Stadio Olimpico. Yep, Sarri had to wait a while, but he gets his revenge. We beat them in our first game in charge of Inter, but this time it's Lazio's day, and it's a big, big defeat as well. It was a nice unbeaten run. It lasted all the way since late December in all competitions, but there it is. That reaction says it all. What more can we do? Beaten by the better team. Always hold my hands up in a minute as well, man. Like, seriously, I present the highlights package very, very fairly. Always hold my hands up in a minute. Beaten by the better team in this game. Lazio playing off the park for the most part. Dominated possession. Had a few more good chances and took the ones they got crucially as well. Felipe Anderson, so creative in that game as well. So, yeah, 3-1 the final score. Our first loss since December. And because of how tight it is right now, that's all it needs to be. One defeat and we drop out the top 4. Exactly what's happened. Lazio leapfrog us. They go in to 4th place. We're only behind them on goal difference and 1 behind Milan. But we're now 8 points behind Roma with 9 games to go. Our title dreams have all but gone. And the question is now, can we get back in the top 4? Failed to do that, and I think I'm getting sacked regardless of what happens in the cup final. But that will end today's episode of the Really Summer Career, guys. Big thank you for watching. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you like, much love to you. Have a fantastic day, and don't miss the next episode, man. Both legs against Man City in the Champions League, and Roma and Juve as well. It's going to be one of the best and most dramatic episodes of the save. Have a great day, much love, and I'll see you for the blockbuster episode very soon.